It's the Soul Fantasy Show. Soul Fan Show. Hey, it's the Soul Fantasy Show live for June 2nd, 2021. Going over the top picks, plays, and studs for Draftkings and Fanduel. Right on top, we have Luka Donek. He only had a 36 last time, but he's the sole stud of the day. I see him getting a 72, bouncing back. Here's some of his stats. 520. He gets a lot of rebounds, a lot of assists, 15% turnover ratio. Right under him, we have Russell Westbrook, but he's more expensive. He had a 71 last time. He's $11,400. But I still think Luka Donek's going to be a little bit better. They're both at 5 times value. Julius Randle's at 5.3 times value. 50, 32, 39, 37, 42. Since he had that 50 last time, he is 9K. All right, here's some of his things. 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Then, under him for 8-2, 50, 41. His last two, he's 8,200, Donovan Mitchell. All right. 11% turnover ratio. Did not turn the ball over. According to this, Joel Embiid is out, so that puts Ben Simmons at a really high mark. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. You got both of them there. Tobias Harris is 7,800. He had a 48 last time. 45 and 34. Ben Simmons, 8,100. He hasn't been too good the last 2 games, but without Embiid, Tobias Harris and Simmons are both viable today, as well as other 76ers. We got, so then we have a lot more guys to think about. We have Kawhi Leonard, 55, 57, 60. Trae Young, 45, 45, 41. Trae Young, not really doing too good. It's a away game. 1.38 fantasy points per minute, 5 times value. Rudy Gobert. All right, we got Bradley Beal and Jovel. Bradley Beal, Jovel. All right, this is a 4-game slate. We have, looking here, we have for 7,600, Clint Capella. Not doing too good. I'd probably steer clear of him. Mike Conley, 7,400. He only had a 30 last time, but he had 3 straight 50s. So hopefully Mike Conley bounces back. He's at 78, 17 and 10 ranks, position ranks, an opponent. 1.16 fantasy points per minute. He's under 5 times value, but he's expected to bounce back. Now we got, under there we have Porzingis. Ganiero is 4,400. Ganiero had a 30 last time, so for 4,400, I'm throwing him right on in there. Ja Morant, 51 last time, was very good. All right, he had 43 minutes yesterday. Jordan Clarkson only had 21 minutes, but he still managed to average out 30 fantasy points, so that's pretty good. So you can throw him in for 6K. Ja Morant, if he gets 50, and you're that 8,600 spent very well. Porzingis, 7,200, has not been doing too good. And with the sole stud of the day, Luka Donek, we would probably not be worrying too much about Porzingis. He's also cold. All right, Cork Moss, he only had 11 minutes yesterday, but he was on fire. He scored. All these fantasy points were like basically points. He had a run of points. Yeah, and he did really well. But, I mean, his fantasy points aren't too high. But watching him, he was just on fire. So for 3K, I'm playing him for $3,000. If Embiid's out, we think he is out. He hurt his knee, and it's not serious, but they don't want to wear him out for the long haul. So they're trying to preserve Embiid because they assume they're going to be able to beat the Wizards without him. So you would probably throw somebody like George Hill in there as well. So these guys are cheap. Cork Moss and George Hill, 3,000, 3,300, both the soul sleepers of the day, along with other Sixers. Rui, 46 monster points. If he's 4,800 and he gets 46, you're good to go. But I doubt he'll do that good. He had 41 minutes, though, so maybe he will. Maybe he's definitely worth it. That's a very low salary for somebody like him. All right, there's Jalen Brunson, 17, 20, 17. Nothing special. You have, all right, there's two more Sixers we can think about who, with Embiid in, don't do too well, but with Embiid out, they're gonna be throwing the ball all over the place. You'll never know where. A lot of rebounds are gonna go Dwight Howard's way. Dwight Howard's gonna have to pick up the pace for Embiid. Okay, so this is the Embiid slate. Guys that you're probably gonna be filling your roster out with some Sixers. You better. Because we're pretty sure Embiid's out. There's Danny Green, another Sixer, 25, 28. He's 4,900, and he's worth every penny. All right, you can't just play nothing but Sixers, but you can have a couple of them in there. All right, Kevin Huerter, 8.82 fantasy points per minute. Nothing special there. He's a good player, though, but nothing special lately. Reggie Jackson, 4,700. He is getting almost a fantasy point per minute. That's a pretty tough matchup. He is not expected to hit his 5 times value, which a lot of guys are. Like Hunter, he only had 9 last time, but he had a 27 2 games ago. So, there's Rose. He's 7,300. He's going to get you anywhere between 31 and 50 fantasy points. Maybe not 50, but 48. He's going to get in that 30 to 45, 50 range. So 7,300 is going to get you that. Then we have Dylan Brooks, Morris Sr., Kyle Anderson, Royce O'Neal, and another Sixer. So we have Seth Curry, man, Maxey, 2 more Sixers you can think about. What Sixers are they? Maxey, 24 fantasy points. He's only 3,600. Seth Curry, damn near 5K. So if you're looking between Royce O'Neal had 34 minutes, Curry had 28 minutes. They're close. So if you play other Sixers, I would just play Royce O'Neal. But if you are not playing too many Sixers, you can play Curry, because he's already getting 28 minutes with Embiid in. So without Embiid, it'll probably go up to where Royce O'Neal is, and you're saving $300 by going with Curry. So then you would do that quickly. Nothing there. 4. He is projected 17. Bogdanovich had 33 minutes yesterday, or the last time he played. He's getting about 0.87, so 0.87 with 33 minutes is around 27 fantasy points, which is what he's been doing. So you get that, but 6,200, you need him to get a little bit more than that. But if you can't find anybody, I'll probably just play him in the 6,000 range. John Collins. John Collins is really good. For 61K, he had that 4. That's devastating. But he came back with that 35. And for 6,100, 6,200, one of these two guys, if you're looking for that price, throw them two, got one of them in. Burks, 5,100, getting a fantasy point per minute. Every minute he gets a fantasy point. That's pretty good. Joe Ingles, only 23 minutes for 5,200. I don't like that. He needs a little bit more minutes for me to be playing him. Josh Richards, not doing too good. He's only 3,300. If you want to throw somebody in cheap in and you want big time value, 5.6 times value, you throw him in, but he has -3 ice boxes. So he's been cold 3. Gafford's been hot 3. So you would rather just spend up for Gafford. He's getting 25 minutes. So he's getting a lot of minutes, a pretty good amount of minutes. All right. And we have DFS, Melton, Bain, Williams, Clark, Grayson. All right. Down here. So these are some guys you can check out here. So Serge Ibaka is out. Thomas Bryant is out. And Mitchell Robinson's out. So those are 3 guys you can think about that are out. All right. We also Cam Reddish is also out. All right. These guys aren't going to get a lot of fantasy points. Denny Anzaro is out. And Bertans is out. So let's go over some lineups for you before we go over to sleepers and studs. They seem to like Donovan Mitchell a lot. This is FanDuel. Then we'll go over singles, sleepers, and studs. Single game, slates. Washington, Philadelphia. All right, that's Washington, Philly, singles. Russell Westbrook is in there. Still hanging on by a thread, the Washington Wizards are. They might get kicked. They might lose. You might see this might be the last game of the Washington Wizards. Memphis. And Luka, the bazooka Donek. The sole stud of the day, Luka Donek. With these singles. And play lineups. These if you want. They're up and down. They have some cash left over. They spend all the cash sometimes. And this is singles for FanDuel. FanDuel action here for you. And let's just take a look at the list of the sleepers and studs. So, sleepers and studs. So, here's all our sleepers. Brunson, Morris, DFS, Reggie Jackson, Bainham, Hardaway, Kebler, and Rondo. This is for FanDuel. Draftkings. Barrett, Jackson, Clarkson, Leonardi, Rui, Brunson, Bainham, Howard, Herter, Green, Jackson, Hunter, Morris, and the rest. Those are the sleepers for DraftKings and FanDuel. Here's the studs. Here's the DraftKings studs. They have Russell Westbrook on top of Luka Donek, then Kawhi Leonard, Beal, and they have Sixers in there. They have Kyle Anderson even in there. Here's the DraftKings studs. So they have Russell Westbrook in there. But Luka Donek is his sole stud of the day. And there's Porzingis all the way down at the bottom. It's a Soul Fantasy show. Soul Fan show.